What's up, comrades? I'm Lenin Lover 69,
I'm following in my prophet, this tendency it will not heal.
and we're the otakus of the night. Today we're going to be making something of a confession, something of a political statement, because even though we're socialists, we voted for President Donald Trump. As socialists, our main goal is to seize the means of production. And what better way to do that than to vote for a president who's already seized the means of production for himself?
So basically, all we need to do is get Trump on camera saying that he's a socialist, and then our job's done. We finally got like a socialist movement that seized all the means of production. You know, anyone who's aware of the history of capitalism knows that capitalism has a tendency to fall into crisis. And what better way to ensure that capitalism will fall into crisis than by electing someone who has no experience and no idea what the fuck they're doing? You know, once everything goes to shit, it'll be really easy to build a new civilization from the start up.
And that new civilization will be a socialist civilization, and we will have Donald Trump to thank for the new socialist revolution.
Now, some of you will be wondering how a massively wealthy billionaire will inevitably lead to sort of a destruction of wealth inequality. And all we have to say is, from the mouth of Donald Trump himself, he has described himself as a blue-collar billionaire. So obviously, even though he's had a silver spoon in his mouth his whole life, he knows what it's like to be working class. And there we go. That's all the class consciousness you really need. You know, and think about it. Why would Donald Trump ever lie?
Another reason is that Trump is a nice ass. He could get it. Trump, being a businessman, is not somebody who falls within the politician spectrum. He is outside of what politicians would be considered politicians. You know, most politicians are people who take bribes and are corrupt, but not Donald Trump. Trump knows the struggles of the proletariat. He knows that, you know, the best way to distribute wealth is by raising the overall income of the lowest class, and by taxing the upper class more. This way, it'll create a disparity. I mean, it'll create less of a disparity between the upper and the lower class. And what better way to do this than by taking all the money yourself and pouring it back into the government, which will give back to the lower class of people.
Reason number 2 is that we're lonely, you know. We're looking for a faithful partner, and we want a man like Mike Pence, who does not eat dinner with any other woman than his wife. You know, why can't we find anyone loyal like that? That's why we voted him in there too, because we want him to set an example for the youth of America.
TFW, autonomaoism.
We'd just like to take this moment to thank our sponsors at Playtex Gloves. You know, if you're going to get down and dirty, make sure your hands are staying purty. Playtex Gloves at your local Walmart.
Or Target. The question may arise, wouldn't you have voted for Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders is a self-proclaimed socialist? Well, let us tell you why we didn't vote for Bernie Sanders. It's because Bernie Sanders is already a senator. Bernie Sanders is already part of the political establishment that benefits American capitalism. Donald Trump is somebody who is totally outside of the political establishment, somebody who has no ties to capitalism whatsoever. Therefore, Bernie Sanders is a capitalist, and Donald Trump is a socialist. Donald Trump is somebody who we know will bring America back to socialism, unlike Bernie Sanders.
And one final reminder, we love a man with power.
Connor.
Yes.